starting standing today. Just for week, oh my God, 7 beginners winter stretch. We're just going to come into our stance, come into Tadasana, mountain pose, palms facing forward, shoulders relaxed. And just see where your breath is at today. Daylight savings week, so I'm a little tired and scrambly, and I also don't have my mat today because it is wet. I washed it at an inappropriate time and it did not dry before class. So just letting all of that go. Starting to find your balance, find your footing. And spread the hands, the fingers, and then make a little fist. Just opening and closing the hands. Doesn't have to be with the breath. Just focusing for a little while on activating the fingers, activating the hands, feeling the forearms maybe moving a little. Maybe doing the same thing with the feet, scrunching the toes as you make a fist, and then relaxing, spreading toes and fingers wide, and scrunching them in, spreading wide. A couple more times. Really feeling the palms and the bottom of the feet, bottoms of the feet. And then starting to move the full arms, relax the fingers, relax the feet. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. And exhale, the palms come back down towards the thighs. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up overhead, palms facing each other. If they can touch, great. If they don't, that's fine. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, palms face down, hands come towards the thighs. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. In through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. A few more times, just focusing on lifting the arms. Keeping the whole body, a little bit of a stretch when you get to the top, and then keeping the lift in the spine as the arms come back down. One more. Inhale in through the nose. Make it a long breath. Take as long as your breath to get your arms as high as they're going to go. And then same thing, long exhale. Take the whole breath to get the hands back down. And shoulder circles coming forward. Inhale, bringing the shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, shoulders come forward and up. Exhale, back and down. One more time, big inhale in. And exhale, letting the shoulders go. If you need to bring your legs out a little bit wider, if you need a little bit more of a stable stance, do so now. Get your triangle on. Inhale, lift both of the arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Exhale, a little side bend over towards the right. Come up through center. Inhale, reach with the right arm. Grab your right wrist with the left hand. Exhale, side bend over to the left. And switching back and forth. Inhale to reach. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to reach. Exhale, side bend to the left. One more time each side. Finding that release the side. And coming back up, lifting both arms up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the arms to a T, palms facing down. Wiping the counter, keeping the hands at this same level, just coming into a little bit of a twist. Try and use your abdominal muscles if you can. If you need to move a little bit of hips as well, that's okay. As long as you're not getting too into it. That was a big crack. As long as you're not getting into it with the knees. A little bit of hips is all right, but it's mostly going to be in the upper to mid spine. Trying to use abdominal muscles, not the back muscles. Back muscles stay, well, they're not relaxed, but they're keeping you upright. You're just wiping these countertops on either side of you. A nice clean house. Companies coming for the first time since COVID. Oh no, everything has to be cleaned again. I may never have people in my house again after this, because first of all, you gotta clean before they come. Second, now you gotta clean after they come. Like, oh, it's just too much. Okay, coming back to a T, really find that reach with the fingers. And exhale, slowly let the arms come back down. Great. Take a little bit of a wider stance again. This time, if you need to, you might need to turn your toes out at a bit of a diagonal. I have some wonky knees, so that's more comfortable for me. If you're comfortable with your feet pointing forward, you can absolutely leave them pointing forward. This is just what I'm doing for my knees and my hips. So do what's best for your knees and your hips. Always do what's best for your knees and your hips. Right hand to the hip. Left hand, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, little teapot tilt over to the right. This time, if you want to shift a little bit of hip, you can. Careful with the knees. Inhale to come all the way up. Left hand to your hip. Right arm up. Exhale, teapot tilt. Maybe shift your hips over to the right. 2 more times. Inhale to switch. Exhale, tilt. Pouring some tea on top of the counter. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pour the tea. Or spill the tea, whatever the kids are saying these days. 1 more time each side. Pretty sure it's spill the tea. I have to ask some kids about that. Coming back to center, big inhale, big stretch, big star stretch, make a big V with your arms. Exhale, slowly let the hands come back down towards the thighs. Great, scoot your feet back in if you want to do one of these fancy little heel toe moves, and get your feet all the way close together, big toes are touching. Theoretically, the outsides of your feet would be pointing parallel to each other rather than having them splayed out. This will just bring your big toes together. Heels will have a little bit of space. If it doesn't feel quite good for the hips or knees, you can have a little bit more space. Totally okay. But from here, working on a little bit of balance, if we can. So if you need to hold on to something, wall, chair, go ahead, grab it. We're going to shift the weight onto the left leg, lifting the right foot up. Right toes can still be on the ground if you need them to. Try and keep your hips even. Feel your hip points here. Make sure your right hip isn't dropping down. You might want to just make sure you're really pressing into your left leg to lift up out of that hip, because this is what it wants to do this. We want it to do this. It wants to do this. I want to make it do this. And just finding stability. Standing on one leg. Maybe holding on to something. Right leg, again, it can be tucked in towards left. If you want to do an actual tree pose, palm of your foot will actually be making contact with your inside shin, maybe a little bit of pressure. If you want to do full tree pose, bring it all the way up. But you don't have to. It can be just below the knee or just above the ankle, or it can still be on the ground, or you don't even have to tree. You can just come up very gently. Just make sure that that right hip is not dropping. And then switch. So if you're going to hold on to something, hold on to it with the right hand as we shift weight onto right hip. This time, left hip is going to want to drop. You're going to make sure you really press into your right foot to get that standing hip lifted. Keep both hips lifted. Maybe hold on to something here. If you want to come into full tree pose, put the palm of your foot against your inside shin, maybe a little bit of pressure. So you can take that foot away and still do the same thing, or you can use just a little bit of activation with the adductor muscles. So just a little bit of pressure with that foot against the inside of your shin can help a little bit with stability, she says, as she wobbles. Just getting the hips and legs really warmed up. One-legged anything is excellent. That's just excellent in general. And then releasing that leg, coming back to a big star stretch, big wide legs, big wide arms, big inhale. And slow exhale, let the arms come back down. One more big inhale in through the nose. This time as you exhale, blow out the candle, make an ooh. Ooh. You can actually make a sound if you want to. I'm assuming you're home by yourself. Or with people you live with who know how weird you can be, which is totally fine. Coming into our small vinyasa lunges. So coming to the back of your mat first, we're going to move forwards and backwards. Right leg steps forward, coming into a small lunge. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, just step right back. Arms come down. Left foot, inhale, step forward to lunge. Arms come up. Exhale, step back. I'm lifting my arms, come back down forward. You can do big arm circles if you want to. Right foot, step forward. Inhale into your lunge, lifting the arms up. This time, stepping to the front of your mat. Exhale, step forward, arms, big wide circle if you want. Stepping backwards with the right leg, coming into our left-legged lunge. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, step to the back of the mat. Left leg stepping forward first. Inhale into your lunge, lift the arms up. And step to the front, exhale, arms come down. Left leg moves first again, stepping backwards this time. Inhale into your lunge. Exhale, step all the way back. Right foot moving first. Inhale, step forward into your lunge. Exhale, all the way to the front. Really stepping out of that standing foot. Whichever standing foot you're on, you still want to be pressing out of it. Try and engage your glute muscles. Right leg is going to step back, coming into our left side lunge. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, stepping to the back. Left foot moving first. Inhale, step forward into your lunge. Really engage your glutes here. Use your standing leg, the left leg, as you exhale, come forward. Left leg stepping back. Inhale into your lunge. Exhale, step back. Starting to add a little bit more. Right leg steps forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. This time, straighten the front leg, bring your hands to your waist as you exhale, come into your hamstring stretch. If you really prefer the floor version, you can absolutely do it now. Bend the front knee, inhale to your left hip flexor stretch. Hands to the hips, straighten the front knee, exhale, hamstring stretch on the right side. Inhale, left hip flexor stretch. Exhale, right hamstring stretch. Inhale one more time to your cracking ankles, high lunge, and step forward on your exhale. Right leg is going to step back this time. Inhale into your lunge. Left leg will be forward. Straighten the front knee as you exhale, come into your left hamstring stretch. Or if you're on the ground, you'll be doing this version. Right? Inhale, come forward. Right hip flexor stretch. Exhale, coming backward. Left hamstring stretch. This one gets you a bigger stretch, but it's typically more passive. The standing stretch, being more active, will get you warmed up a lot faster if you ever need that. And it's a little easier on the knees. This one can be hard sometimes if you have bad knees or not so great knees. Last time, inhale, come forward to our right hip flexor stretch. Exhale, back, or left hamstring stretch. And we were standing, so we'll end up, whoops. Come back to your high lunge on your left side. Exhale, step back to the back of your mat. Couple more arm circles here, just letting it all go. And maybe a couple neck circles if you want. Just half circles. Oh, my screen is being funny. Keep doing your half circles as I fix myself here. Whoop. There we go. Good screen. Good job. And coming back to Tadasana when your neck circles are feeling good. We're feeling adequate. Feet under hips, palms facing forward, big inhale in. Exhale, sigh. This time we're going to move side to side. Whoa, crazy. I know. Okay, right foot's going to move first, stepping out to the side, coming into a very small side lunge. So just a little bit of a bend in the right knee, as much as you want. Put your weight back into your right heel and engage your right side glute. To the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms to a T as you step into that leg. Back the other way. Inhale, step in. Bend the left knee a little bit, arms come up. Exhale, stepping in, arms to a T. So just moving a little bit back and forth, just really getting those legs warmed up. Inhale, tiny little side lunge to the right. Exhale, step it forward. If you're having issues with the knees, just step straight to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Absolutely. Inhale in. Exhale to T. Inhale, step left, little side bend if you want. Weight in the heel, engage your glute. Exhale, coming to step. One more time each side. Inhale, right. Exhale, stand. Inhale, right. And exhale, stand. Coming back to center. Big wide-legged stance. If you need to, turn the feet out. I'm going to, for my knee's sake. Big star stretch. Big inhale through the nose. Sigh as you let the arms come back down. Happy star. Make your way to sitting if you want to come through awkward goblin. Absolutely up to you. Bringing the hands down. If you have something to sit on, left my pillow over here. Please forgive my ridiculously awkward stance. You don't need to do this. Coming down to sit on your pillow. Like the awkward goblin we are. Oh, and we're also going to move our camera because we realize we're done with the standing. So there's no need to have the camera that high. Okay. Awkward goblining. There I am. Ta-da! Coming into hip mobility just a little bit. Windshield wipers. So you don't need to have a pillow if you don't want to. I like the pillow, personally. But you can do it sitting in a chair, couch, whatever you like. Just getting the hips a little more warmed up. And then bringing the left leg straight out in front of you, or I'm going to move slightly off to the side. Bringing right leg up and close. So right foot just a little bit on the inside of left knee. Sit up straight, sit up tall. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, coming into a little twist. So seeing if you can wrap your left hand or left arm around right knee as you look over your right shoulder. Right arm can come behind you as well if you need to. Again, you don't need to be sitting on anything. I just really feel like babying myself today. Spine gets tall with every inhale, every exhale. Keeps your spine tall, but gives you a little extra twist. And as long as you're not using these arms to actually pull yourself into the twist, you want to try to focus on using your abdominal muscles. Abs, everyone has them. If you didn't, you would not be breathing and your organs would be falling all over the floor. So don't tell me you don't have abs. And coming back to center, dropping the right knee out, so bringing the inside, the palm of your foot to the inside, either just above the knee or below the knee, not on the knee, so above or below, whichever your hip and leg want, and just let that knee fall out to the side, the right leg. Sit up tall, sit up straight, inhale with both arms up. Exhale, see if you can reach forward and grab that left ankle. I'm absolutely not going to make it all the way, so don't worry about it. If this leg is having trouble being straight, you can absolutely bend this knee. It can be here if you want it to be, and you can just hug this knee. This works. This, if you're having trouble with this leg as well, you can tuck it a little bit underneath, or you can put a pillow underneath right knee for a little bit of support. Look, I shall demonstrate. Oh, wonderful. There, look, right knee, very supported, just hugging into left knee. So we're trying to stretch hamstrings here. Theoretically, it's also, it can be very relaxing for the back to just hang out here. If your hamstrings are not having it, if your hips are not having it. If they are having it, then it's an excellent stretch. Again, I'm not going to make it all the way to the ankle, so don't worry about it. Out of our stretch, switching to the other side, I will come on to another diagonal. Maybe I'll come straight. I did a diagonal for the first time. The right leg straight out in front of you. My foot is a little bit off center because, again, my wonky knees, my knee is pointing up and my foot is pointing out. Because if I put my foot up, then my knee points off on a diagonal, which is really bad for my hip. So if your knee and your foot point in the same direction, have them both pointing up. If your knee and foot point in different directions, have your knee pointing up and your foot can lean off to whatever angle it needs to. Coming into our twist first, so bringing that left knee in. Inhale with the right arm up. Exhale, coming into your left side twist. So either holding onto this knee and just looking a little bit, or trying to wrap the arm around. Left hand goes wherever it wants to. Maybe it comes behind you. Totally fine. Again, if you're having trouble with that right leg, you can bend that knee and just stick the foot out a little bit further. You can have a pillow underneath it here. Whatever you need to make this more comfortable for you. Because every body is different. Who'da thunk? Back towards center. And same thing on this side, dropping left knee out, bringing the palm of your left foot either above or below the knee joint, not on the actual knee joint itself. I'm going to go above. And I'm going to let my knee fall out. Inhale, reach both arms up. Again, if you're here, then you're here. Great. I'm just here because that's where my leg goes. Exhale, lean forward. See if you can grab onto right ankle. I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to put my hands on either side of my knee to support myself here. Keep your chest lifted. And breathe. Might be feeling it in the hamstring here. You might also be feeling it in adductors or even a little bit of lower back left side. As long as it's not painful, should be okay. If you have questions, email me after class. And then slowly coming up out of this stretch. Coming into our butterfly posture. So this is where it's excellent to have something under the hips if you need it to be. Bring both palms of the feet together. Soles of the hands, palms of the feet. You can grab onto ankles, you can grab onto toes, whatever you can reach, and flap your butterfly wings. Short adductors are going to be really working here. Long adductors, not so much. If you've ever been told you have an issue with your short adductors, you should be doing this every day, in my opinion. Depends what the problem is, realistically. But it's a really easy way to activate them. And breathe. Chance for another awkward goblin. So from here, stretching out our adductors, Release the knees. If you can, get your forearms just to the just below the knee joint. A little bit of pressure if you need to. Lean forward. Or you can open up the feet, coming into more awkward position here. A little bit more of a stretch. If you're sitting in a chair, it would look a little more like this yonder. Thus the awkward goblin. Whatever is comfortable for you. If you want to just hang out here, just chill, not actually stretch. Grab onto your ankles. Lift your chest. And exhale. If you want to do one leg at a time, absolutely. If you need pillows under here still and you don't actually want to do like a full stretch, you don't have to. You're doing one leg at a time, switch. And sigh. Even awkward goblins deserve to have happy hips. And then coming back, crossing left ankle underneath, right ankle over, nope. Right ankle in front, sorry. Left ankle and then right ankle. So technically right side will be a little bit higher. Inhale the arms to a T. Exhale, bring your right hand to your head, left hand to lower back. See if you can get the fingers to touch. If they can't, totally okay. If you're just here, this is great. If you have to do any kind of weird craning the neck business to get your hands to touch, reset, don't worry about it. Keep your chest lifted. And sigh. Inhale the arms to a T. And then exhale, left hand over top, give yourself a big hug. Lift the elbows. Maybe a little bit of a back bend if you want it. You don't have to. And exhale, release it all. Switch the cross of your ankles. I will turn to the side so you can see a little bit easier. Perhaps, maybe it'll be more difficult, just a different angle. Right foot in first. Left ankle comes out in front. There we go. Now she's got it. Now she knows what she's saying. She figured this out before I come to class. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, this time, left arm on top, right hand coming towards your lower back. The left palm facing forward, right palm facing out, back of hand is on the lower back. Again, if you need to do any of these to get the fingers together, it's not worth it. So just hang out where you're comfortable. And sigh. On your next inhale, bring the arms to a T. Back to the wall. This time, right arm over top. You give yourself a big hug. Lift the elbows. Maybe a little bit of an upper back bend if you want it. You don't have to. You can absolutely keep a neutral spine. And release it all. Coming up off of our pillow, we'll make our way to all fours. If you want to keep the pillow for your knees, you totally can. It's not a bad idea. Always good to have an extra pillow kicking around. I'm just going to put this one because I don't feel like it. Also, I'm very backwards today, but I'm going to stick with it. Again, that's my fault for not making sure my mat was dry in time for class. Okay, couple of cat-cows. Make sure hips are over top of knees, shoulders are over top of wrists. Those are the right body parts. Yes, I believe so. If they're not, email me after class. Inhale, drop your belly button towards the ground, tilt your butt up, nose lifts up as well. Make sure everything feels okay, nothing strained. Exhale, bring your belly button up, pelvis tucks under, head comes under as well. Inhale, let the pelvis roll, and the rest of the spine responds just because it's attached. Nose comes up last. Exhale, cat back. Really use your belly button to lift your spine. Head comes down last. Inhale, moving from the pelvis first. Feel the ripple in your spine, if you can imagine that. Exhale, curl the pelvis underneath. Use your belly button. It's a good ab workout. Couple more times. Inhale in, cow belly. Exhale, cat back. I want to make some barnyard noises. Absolutely. Inhale in. Oh, exhale, cat. If you actually have a cat and you're doing this, please tell me how they react to it. One more time. Inhale in for cow. Exhale for cat. Bring back to neutral spine. Look behind you. Make sure your right hip is still there. Yes, it is. That's fantastic. Make sure your left hip is still there. Also fantastic. Good to know. Back to neutral spine. Inhale, lift the right arm up, coming into our twist. Right hand to the back of the lower back as you exhale, or as close to it as you can get. If you're here, that's fine. Inhale, open up right hand. Exhale, dive under. Thread the needle right ear towards the ground. Make sure your hips are stable. Stay here or inhale, lift the left hand up. Exhale, bring the left hand, back of the left hand to your lower back if you can. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, bring it to the mat. Unwind, make sure you're not on your braid. Unwind. Lift the right arm up. Exhale, back of right hand towards lower back. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale to the mat. Switch. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, back of left hand towards lower back. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, dive it under, threading the needle on this side. Make sure your braids are out of the way if you're going to do this. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Which fingers am I using? Exhale, back of right hand towards lower back. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale to the mat. Or aforementioned carpet. Inhale to unwind, lift the left arm up. Exhale, back of left hand towards lower back. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, all fours. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Switching again. This time, just dive under, thread the needle, and just hang out. Feeling that good stretch in the back of the right shoulder. If you want to still switch and move that left arm, you absolutely can, but you do not have to. Just make sure your hips are straight, not drifting off to one side. They're going to want to drift off to the left because that puts less tension in the shoulder. Make sure that they're actually stable because then you get the stretch. Unless there's pain, then you don't want any pain. You'll do whatever you need to do. Oh, a lot of hair on my floor. Jeez. Usually my mat lies on top of this. Okay, unravel. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, all fours. Other way. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, dive it under. I'm going to thread the needle on this side. Watch the hips. They want to go over to the right. We want to keep them stable, keep them in the middle. If you want to lift that right arm and do the same sequence here again for the shoulder, you absolutely can. If you need to keep that right hand steady, just to give yourself a little support, just breathe. An excellent pose sometimes if you're really gassy, just falls right out. All right, inhale, unwind with the left arm up. And exhale back to all fours. Give me another cat-cow here if you want to. Just making sure spine is in alignment. That's a really creepy cat. I'm sorry. Sit back on your heels, coming into child's pose. It's a big stretch. I'm going to be here for a moment. Breathe into your lower back. Exhale, sigh. And then claw the ground, claw your mat as you come forward onto your forearms, coming up to all fours. Walk your hands forward if you can, if you want to come into plank on knees, or you can just make your way to all face down, however you want to. Maybe slowly lower. Or face plant, if you're already here, that's totally fine. I'm gonna scoot back actually, because I'm way too close to everything that's going on here. What is happening? Drowning snow angel. Lift your arms up in front of you. Again, if you want to, you can keep your face on the ground or keep it a little bit lifted if you are practicing locust pose with the arms and the legs and all that jazz. If you've ever been given Superman's as an exercise, you can lift the head or leave it down. Boom. Arms trail down towards thighs. Palms facing towards thighs when you, that's just my hair. Palms facing towards thighs when you get down here. And then palms facing down as you bring your arms back up. Hands can slide fully, or maybe fingertips are in contact with the ground, or arms completely hover. In which case, make sure you're still staying really active in your spine. You're still trying to reach the crown of your head towards the wall in front of you. Even though it's relaxed, try and keep that length, that image of standing up really, really tall, the image of like pressing out of your feet. I know your feet do not actually have anything on them, but just that image of standing really, really tall, making a little bit of space between each vertebrae, pressing your pubic bone right there. Find your pubic bone, find that point of contact, press it into the ground, and then spread out your fingers, spread your arms as wide as you can. And try and imagine, like, every time you move your arms, you're trying to scrape the side. So not just lifting off of the floor, not just lifting off of the ground, you're trying to reach your arms out as far as you can and trying to scrape the side of whatever it is that you're touching. So you're trying to make your big snow angel, your drowning snow angel. You're trying to make those wings as wide as you can, spread out a little bit more snow, a little bit more. My left arm is lifting way too high because there's a pillow. A couple more rounds. If you need to bend the elbows, you absolutely can, but still try and reach with the elbows. If you're just doing like a small angel here. You're really like, oh yeah. You just don't want the arms to be crunching in because then shoulders will tend to roll up onto the neck. You want to keep shoulder blades down and reach. And then relax, because that was actually quite a bit. Make your way onto one side. For me, this is going to be my left side. Bend your bottom arm and knee, or leg. The top leg and top arm straight. Lift them both for a moment. Let them hover. Stretch, reach. So I'm stretching up my right side because I'm lying on my left. There goes my stomach. And then slowly relax. Right arm, right leg, little side stretch here. And relax. If you need to bend a limb to make them a little bit more comfortable, absolutely do so. If you need to put a pillow between your knees, that was also a loud crack, absolutely do so. And just breathe into your whole right side. Assumably you're lying on the same side as me, but you might not be. Breathe into your top side. If you have a pillow between your knees, we'll take that out, put it off to the side. Ugh. And just roll onto your back. Regular snow angels. Excuse me while I scoot. You don't have to do what I'm doing there. So come into alignment first. Lift the head, make sure it's settled down straight. Little glute bridge. Make sure your heels are just out of reach. Have your hips, lift the hips. And settle them back down. Okay, spine is in alignment, or as good as it's gonna get. Palms can face up. And same thing, palms can hover if you want them to. Arms can be, a foot off the ground if you want them to. Really reach out as wide as you can. Palms facing up until they get to the thighs. And then just give them a little turn in, palms facing towards thighs. And then stretch the hands out, reach. This time the snow angel is not drowning. This is why we do this 1 second, because it's slightly less grim. We could do it the other way if you really want to. That's up to you. If it's more comfortable for you to have your legs straight as well, you can. If you have lower back issues, I would say keep the knees bent, feet on the ground. Lift in the hips, settle them down. It just helps protect the lower back generally, or you can put a pillow underneath the knees. You can just go ahead and go there already. More times, just really trying to find that reach, trying to find the belly button pressing in towards the ground. So we're still staying active in the abdominal muscles here. When we're face down, we need to stay active in our spine. When we're face up, we stay active in our abdominals. That did not. Couple more times, couple more breaths. Whatever breathing pattern you want, you don't have to have a breathing pattern if you don't want to. Not yet. This. And then bring your hands towards your thighs. Everybody, make sure your heels are just out of reach of your fingertips. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. And then slowly settle them back down. My quads are tight. I can feel that. I don't know about you. This time, arms coming all the way up overhead. So lift them up towards the ceiling and then bring them up over your actual head, back down towards the ground. Exhale, reach for your knees, a little bit of a crunch. Using those abdominal muscles. And relax, let the hands slide down. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. Exhale, a little crunch, reaching towards the knees. Feeling that abdominal contraction, belly button drives down. Relax the hands. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, a little crunch. Is it driving belly button down? I should point with that hand, whichever hand, I don't know. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. And then coming back to relax, hands on the ground, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, glute bridge, yay! And slowly lower back down. Bring your right knee into your chest as close as you can get it. Breathe into your right side, lower back, right side glutes. Maybe a few ankle circles here. And the other way. It doesn't click this way. Ha 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 ha. Still not a good thing. Yeah, okay. And a few circles with the knee. If you want to, you don't have to. I'm clearly switching back and forth very haphazardly, so switch at will. And see if you can get this knee straight and see if you can get that heel pressed up towards the ceiling. If you can't get it all the way straight, that's okay. Just get it as straight as you can and hold there and breathe. We're trying to get that hamstring lengthened out, just really trying to get that knee straight, actively using quads here to try and pull, relax hamstring. The goal is to get that knee totally straight with the foot parallel towards the ceiling. And it's so lovely to have a goal to work towards. So if you're not quite there, just think of all this progress that you get to make. If you're able, maybe you might just get to here. That's fine. Okay, relax the right leg. Bring both heels just out of reach of fingertips. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips as high as you can. And then very, very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower them down. Try and keep your back relaxed. Movement is coming from your butt, predominantly. Hamstrings will help, but mostly your butt. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. Same thing on this side, maybe some ankle circles. This ankle doesn't click. And circle the other way. Wants to click, but it's not quite clicking. Okay. And then a couple of knee circles just for the hips. And same thing on this side, seeing if you can get that leg straightened out as straight as you can get it. If you need to point your toes too, it's a little bit of that trick to get the calves out of the equation if your calves are a lot tighter than your hamstrings. But if you can, try and press heel towards ceiling and try and straighten this leg as much as you can. Like you imagine someone has a string at the back of this knee and a string on either side here, and they're just like, straighten it out. Get in like a lever. So just getting that quad activation to get the hamstrings to release. If you can, as straight as you can get it, if you're here, fantastic. Yeah, think of all that progress you get to make. You have goals, something to work towards. And relax, bring the left leg back down. Make sure your heels are just out of reach of fingertips. You know what we're doing. Glute bridge, squeeze your glutes. Bring your hips up as high as you can. Slowly lower all the way down as you exhale. Blow out the candle. Find that core contraction as you get down to the bottom. Maybe a couple windshield wipers if you need them. If your lower back was activating in your glute bridges and you need them to relax, totally okay. That was my hip cracking again. Any cracks on short leg? It's a bit of a problem. Anyway, coming back towards center, another glute bridge. Look at that. Make sure your heels are just out of reach of your fingertips. Squeeze your butt. Use your butt power to lift yourself. And then slowly lower all the way back down. Blowing up the candle as you do so. Glute stretches. Lift your right leg up. Get your right ankle over top of left knee. Reach through. Grab, if you can, just behind that left leg and a little stretch. If you can reach and if you want to, while you're here, you can absolutely use that right forearm just to press in just below the right knee joint. Just give yourself a little bit of a pressure, a little bit extra stretch. Make sure your right toes are flexed back towards your right knee. Might as well flex both of your feet while you're here so you don't forget which foot is doing what. Because I always forget to flex my toes, so. When I remind my classes to do things, it's because I forgot and I'm reminding myself out loud. Breathe into your right hip. And then release. And we'll switch other side. So bringing your left ankle over top of right knee, reach through, grab behind right knee, pull right knee towards right shoulder if you want to. Again, a little bit of pressure if you can as well. Not just if you want to, if you physically are close enough to press your left forearm into your left leg just below the knee joint. Not on the knee joint, never on the knee joint. On the fleshy part above and below. This takes a bit of brain, so don't worry if you don't get it right away. You're like, you're pulling here, you're pushing here, you're trying to relax other things. So if that's a lot, don't worry about it. Just grab behind right thigh. And just breathe. And release. Bring both feet towards the ground. Again, make sure your heels are just out of reach of fingertips. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips as high as you can. Inhale in, slowly exhale out, blowing out the candle as you lower one vertebrae at a time. Keeping your glutes engaged until the last possible second. Your glutes are doing all the work, and we're so happy for that. Yay, glutes. And then rolling onto your right side, or the side that we did not do our side stretch on for. For me, that's right. For you, it might be left. I'm going to go ahead and turn myself around. You just do whatever is most comfortable for you. So right arm, right leg on the bottom will be bent. Left arm, left leg will be straight, coming into a bit of a reach first, if you want to. You don't have to. And then settling in. You want to grab that pillow back, wherever it went, and put it between the knees. There we go. Just make sure that top leg is straight, coming into your side stretching here. And breathe. And sigh. Or meow. Or moo. Whatever sounds you want to make. If you have a cat, absolutely start meowing at them. See what they do. I do not have a cat, so lots of missed opportunities here. And we'll take the pillow out, chuck it sort of off to the side. I'm just making a big old mess. And we're gonna roll onto our stomachs again. That's right, we're all over the place today. All right, so from here, stretch out your left arm. I'm gonna move over a little. Excuse my awkward scooching. So left arm is gonna stretch out. Theoretically, right leg will bend. And we're gonna roll onto that left shoulder. So bringing your right foot towards the ground. If you can, right hand is being used to stabilize here so I don't fall. If it's too much for you to actually do that full roll, you can just cross right ankle over the top and just give yourself a little turn, stretching into the front of that left shoulder. You can relax your head here. I keep mine lifted because I'm a ridiculous go-getter, but it should realistically be relaxed. This stretching into the front of left shoulder. You might feel this in the left bicep as well. And breathe. Slowly coming out of that stretch. And coming to the other side. I will switch my angle so you can see me a little easier. And it's going to be slightly awkward because there's a lot of wall here. So right arm is going to come out to the side to a T. We'll pretend that my right leg is straight. If I didn't have a wall right behind me, left leg will bend up and come out to the side, or just cross that ankle. And using left leg, or left arm, sorry, to give a little support as I come into this roll. I'm going to have to end up bending both of my legs here. Forgot to move the wall out of the way before class today. Wouldn't that be nice? I only need an extra like 2 feet. And breathe. So if you need to bend both knees at this point, you can, but it's better if you can keep at least your bottom leg straight. Slowly coming out of this stretch now. I'm coming to lie on the back again. Just gonna unwind all of this stuff. Don't mind me as I make my way to my back. There. Boom. This time, legs are actually gonna be straight. Full body stretch. So reaching heels and hands towards opposite sides of the room. And then walk your hands and feet over to the right side. Coming into a side stretch for the left this time. It's a little more passive because we're lying down, but you might be able to feel more of a stretch. It's up to you how far you actually want to move over. If you feel like your C curve is not quite enough, you can lift up your left leg, press the ankle over top of your right. A little extra stretch there. And breathe. I've decided to grab my left wrist with my right hand. You do not have to, but it just gives a little extra stretch for my shoulder, and I like it. Totally unnecessary. Your right hand can be down by your side if you want it to be. Switching, going the other way. We're going to come to our full body stretch first, so come back to center, reach. And then bring hands and feet over to the left side. Coming into your side stretch here. If you want to, use your left hand to grab right wrist. Give yourself a little extra tug. Gentle tug, not a yank. Just a little extra encouragement. Maybe you cross your right ankle over top of left ankle. You absolutely can. You can also keep your left arm down if you want to. You can put it anywhere you like. Come back to center, big full body stretch again. Hands and heels reaching. And then relax. Bring the hands down towards your side. Maybe give a little support to the legs as you bend your knees. Bring feet up. Bring your hands or heels just out of reach of your hands. Scoot your shoulders down maybe. Couple more glute bridges here. So really use your glutes to squeeze, lift the hips all the way up as you inhale. Slowly exhale all the way back down. Keep your back as relaxed as you possibly can. Use your glutes. Inhale in, lifting the hips this time, lifting the arms up overhead as well. If you want to, you don't have to. Coming into that stretch for the upper back, for the hands. Slowly lower all the way down every vertebrae as you bring your hands back down towards your sides. So a few things going on here. If you're having trouble keeping track of everything, don't worry about it. Inhale, lift the hips, maybe lift the arms. Keep your back relaxed. Exhale, lower. Typically palms face towards each other. If that's, again, too much for you to think about, don't worry about it. Inhale, lift the arms all the way overhead. Lift the glutes, or use your glutes to lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Really reach your hands if you're using them. Try and touch the ceiling. One more. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, maybe lifting the arms. Back is relaxed. Core is engaged. I know, so many things. Slowly release. Reaching for the ceiling. Lower back relaxed. All the way down. And breathe, palms facing up. Maybe a couple windshield wipers here if you want them. And then if you're ready to move towards the wall, it's up to you if you want to do a little recline bound angle stretch before you get there. If you want to grab your pillows on either side, put the palms of your feet together, soles of your feet together, bottoms of your feet together, let your knees fall out wide. You can do that absolutely supported here. If you are ready to move towards the wall or your chair or your couch, if you're using a chair or a couch, this would be kind of the position because you want to make sure that you're relaxed. So you want to make sure that whatever it is you're using, your calves and feet will be relaxed and supported on top of whatever object it is. If you're moving towards a wall, there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. I come in nice and close to the wall and check your distance here. Maybe grab a pillow if you want it for your head. You absolutely can have a pillow for your head. I'm going to skip that, but I'm going to keep my close by. Wow. On either side of me. Because I like to tuck myself in. So make sure you're coming onto whichever side you're going to lean onto. I'm leaning onto my left side. I'm going to come down onto my left and scoop my butt up nice and close to the wall. Leaving just a little bit of a space here. You can leave a foot of space. You can have your glutes right up close to the wall if you want to, if you really need a lot of support. But usually the more space you leave is going to give you a little bit more leeway with the wall. So if you're not very flexible, if you're having trouble straightening those legs fully and you are using the wall, give yourself a little bit of extra space away from the wall. Come down onto your side, roll onto your back. And from here, you can just walk your feet as high up as you want. The goal is to get your heels resting against the wall. Legs should be relatively straight. I've got about a foot between me and the wall, so it's a little easier. You can have your feet resting on the wall if you want to, but I find and you have to keep your legs activated to prevent that from happening, your feet from falling. So if you can't get your legs straight enough to be on the wall and resting, then take them down, use a couch or a chair to have that first position. I'm going to scoot in closer. Don't mind me. So if you're done with your recline bound angle and you're coming to find your wall pose here, I personally like to nest myself. So I like to squeeze my pillows in on either side of my hip. I just find it feels really comfortable here. And I'm going to put my arms out to a little bit of a pec stretch. And breathe. So if you're finishing with legs up the wall, you can choose this position. If you're finishing with a recline bound angle, you can also stay there. Totally up to you, whichever you prefer. Legs up the wall is really, really good to get all of that blood out from your feet. Good for circulation, awesome for sleep. Recline bound angle with the feet together and the knees supported, open like a book. Really good for hips and lower back. Also for sleep. Whichever position you've chosen to end class in today, you can pick the same one next week as well. And just a few more breaths focusing on your ab activation. So at the end of that breath, you can blow out the candle. You can fog up the mirror. You can meow, whichever exhale version you really want to do. Just make sure you're still doing a couple of core contractions. So when you get to the end of that breath, feeling your belly button coming down towards the ground. Just taking maybe 5 breaths like that before you let your breath normalize, naturalize, regulate. You want to do some pelvic floor breathing while you're here? Absolutely. And then let your breathing come to whatever natural breath it is that you have now. Stay here as long as you like, or crawl off into bed right away. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have our last class next week. Take care, stay warm, stay hydrated, and I'll see you then.